Yeah, thanks, John. Brilliant presentation, and I've always been interested in your books in the past. But now I've got an unusual question. I'm recently dating a girl from the Ukraine, which is a very traditionally male-female thing, but now we're living in Denmark, which is very much an equal or trying to be equal culture. And so compounded to that, I'm also a divorced dad with a half-time agreement with my son. So I'm also doing a lot of the female nurturing stuff that we don't see so much in America. But she's also expecting and trapped by this expectation of the overly masculine Ukrainian style man. And I'm wondering, is there anything that I can do or we can do together to ease this cultural shift from such a far apart male and female difference to a closer male and female difference?
Okay, now that's a good theory. I got the concept. I need one practical problem that results from that. She said this, you said this, she said that. What would it be? A complaint she has.
Yeah. So a typical example would be if I would cook her dinner and it would be the best cooking in the world, and I would think I'm showing off my signs as a provider, she would think that is not masculine, and she should be doing all of the cooking in a more traditional male-female way, let's say. So like the ways that I would express my caring and love towards her would be seen as a sign of weakness from her point of view, let's say.
Actually, caring for her in your situation, I'll just toss that idea out there. You know, not all the ideas I give fly until I have more time working with people.
Sure.
But having said that, I would acknowledge and respect that she comes from this culture where women cook. Mm. Now, as much as some of the modern women in the sameness culture, which we call the equal culture, but I call it the sameness culture, no differentiation. In the sameness culture, if you want to have polarity in your relationship. Now, this is what's interesting. What's missing in sameness relationships is passion. And you know that where you live in Denmark. Mm. People, it's gone. Okay, it goes very quick. You only get a little passion when there's a newness, okay? And that once familiarity sets in and sameness, death to passion. And you want passion. So prioritize what you really want. And also prioritize her, what she needs. And what she needs is more estrogen. And turns out cooking is and nurturing through cooking is a very estrogen stimulating activity. For you, as appropriate, because I feel your masculinity there, I'm making a magnificent male. You know, this is not just nurturing, this is showing my power, you know. I'm good at this.
Showing off of it, yeah.
I'm showing off of it, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you're upping her. You're making her not feel needed in her feminine qualities. So I would just let her cook. And you might do a thing where you do Sunday morning breakfast or something like that. But I talk about this later in the book, Beyond Mars and Venus. I talk about what testosterone needs is decisions, challenge, differences, having overcome things. Okay, so that would be you're a fireman, you're a policeman, you're driving a car, okay, you're handling a construction job, are you making decisions in business, you're investing money. Making decisions is always a risk. Now, and making decisions as well as emergencies, something new and challenging. So if the roof leaks, that's an emergency. What's that going to do? Increase testosterone. If the trash builds up and it starts to stink, then that's a problem. I got to solve it. So when men are doing things around the house, which is solving problems, that's a testosterone booster. If it's challenging and it's new and it's somewhat of an emergency. Activities that are routine activities, like you do the same thing over and over and over and over, if they're nurturing, are very estrogen stimulating because they don't produce testosterone. One of the obstacles for women in the world today is if they produce too much testosterone, it lowers their estrogen. So routine activities, nurturing activities, non-decision-making activities. There's no big decisions when you're taking care of the children, when you're taking care of the house. There are decisions with children for sure, but it's more routine. And the house, keeping the house beautiful is routine. Taking care of relationships. This is like no big risk. These are people you feel safe with, as opposed to strangers out in the world. So I'm not saying women can't go out in the world and do their jobs, whatever, but you're talking about a woman who's more from a culture, and her conditioning is stronger to do those things for her sense of self-esteem, which are nurturing activities, routine activities. So it's actually giving her the benefit of doing routine activities. And so, you know, what we have today in the sameness culture is, okay, honey, this is Tuesdays. I vacuum the floor on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, you vacuum the floor. Okay, so we have everything worked out same and equal. But then if there's a storm and there's a leak in the roof, who goes up and fixes it? If there's a lawsuit with the neighbors, who's going to have to talk to the neighbors? If there's a shortage, who's going to have to go out there and find the solution? I talked about, they're not in my mind right now, but in that book, I talked about like 32 things in the last month of writing that book where I did something that was out of the unusual and a little emergency that my wife would never like to do and never enjoy doing, and was grateful to me because I would do them. But if I'm going to do all those 32 things and do the same as her, I'm exhausted. I don't have any testosterone to do those things. So there's a wisdom in not having sameness and not having sharing. There's actually a great wisdom of what we could see clearly in the business world is something called partnership. Partnership is, I'm good at this, I'm not good at that, so you do that. We don't do the same job. We do different jobs, and we respect. I don't tell you what to do, you don't tell me what to do. But if you have a need, I respect that. But respect that I don't have to be like you. And this is where differences are very, very important. So my basic suggestion with you is say, oh, your food is so amazing. You're such an amazing cook. Why should I bother cooking? I love your food so much, and make that your gift of love to her. And she will really appreciate it.